Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. Want to welcome you to the first Monday afternoon show. I don't think I've ever done a Monday afternoon show since I've been doing this internet radio since 2005, YouTube since I think 2015. But welcome to the June 5th, 2023 Vinyl Treasure Show. The theme for today, there's no ballads on today's show. And this is a show dedicated to those rock and rollers over in the UK that dance to this music on the weekends. We'll be doing different specials at this time. Got to think of next week, but I have some ideas on what I'm going to do. But maybe I'm going to do a ballad show on the next one. But we're going to rotate with different things. A gospel show, a blues show, rockabilly. We'll go into the 60s also. We'll do some countdowns, 78s, early 78s, 50s, 78s. That'll be a good time to do it, but it's only going to be for a couple hours, so maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most, because I got things to do during the week, but this is really the only time I get to enjoy my 45s. So anyway, so you can stick around if you can. If you miss any of the show, you can tune in on the archive. I have them here on YouTube. You can also tune in on vinyltreasures.net if you'd like to download the show there. There is a website there. It's not the greatest, but at least the shows are housed there. And I'll probably call this the Monday night show, so kind of differentiate it. But I'll send when I set up the show, if I'm going to do a show, you will see the like a coming attraction, because there's certain things that might happen during the week. I mean, I'm set for nighttime, but during the day could be an issue, but we're going to try it for Monday. Can't do it on Friday. I thought I could, at least not at this stage in what the things that I have to do. So please just bear with me. And again, if you have any ideas for future shows, please email me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. That's also good for requests also. But we opened up with a cool tune there. The first time I heard that song, I used to listen to Roy Adams on WHBI, and he used that as his theme song. That's when I first heard it. But that is tenor saxman Red Prysock, his 6th of 21 releases for Mercury Records. A song he wrote, it was called Hand Clappin', was number 4 record on WILY out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, if you were tuned into that show. And as I mentioned, I heard this first on Roy Adams' show. Yeah, WHBI FM 105.9 on a Sunday night. And this tune recorded in New York City, July 8th of 1955. It featured, I even got Blue Mitchell, he's on trumpet. Red Prysock on tenor sax, Clarence Eugene Wright is the baritone sax, Joe Oliver Blair on piano, and Raymond Kritz on guitar, and one more, Herman Gordy on the bass, and Purell Rice on the drums. Really can't get any better than that all-star group. September 55, Red Prysock on Mercury, Hand Clapping. Enough of my babbling here. Let's open up with the vocal portion. Now, this was the very first record I ever played on my first show, the first Vinyl Treasure show, that dates back to, I think it was August or September of 2005. And the name of the show, Vinyl Treasures, was given to my best friend, Dave the Rave Kapolsky. He came up with the name of the program when I was on that other network. And this was the first song I ever played back, I think it was September 2005. It's on Morty Craft's Melba label. The group is out of Harlem, and you may know their biggest hit from 1956. It was called Church Bells May Ring. That was their biggest hit. But this was their third release for Melba, released in February of 57. It features Tony Middleton on lead. We go to Melba Records here for the Willows, and the song is called Little Darlin'.
Ba 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 da da. Well now, little darling, I really love you so, and I'll never let you go, because
We open the vocal portion there with Tony Middleton and the Willows, February 1957. Morty Craft's Melba Records out of New York City, Little Darlin', the name of the tune. Of course, the Willows went on to record on a bunch of different labels. Of course, they go earlier, featured one of their the up-tempo of the PD45 on my Saturday night show. But if you're into vocal group harmony, ballads, and up-tempos, you could tune in on Saturday nights. It's going to be all dance music today for those out in the UK. Let's continue here. And this is... let's see, this gal, her name is Mamie Bradley. This is on Juggy Murray Sue record label out of New York City. This is with Andy Gibson and the orchestra. This is her debut single. I know she has another one. I think it came out on the Chess record label, if I'm not mistaken, but this one dates back to January 1958. Her name is Mamie Bradley on Sue Records. It's called I Feel Like a Million.
Ooh, I'm in love, I'm in love. I'm in love. I feel like a million when you hold my hand. I feel like a million 'cause you understand. I feel like a million 'cause I'm in love. I feel like a million every time we kiss. I thrill like a million 'cause I can't resist. I feel like a million 'cause I'm in love. My heart goes bitter better. You got me in a spin. I don't know what's the matter, but I'm crazy about that spin I'm in. I feel like a million when you hold me close. I feel like a million 'cause you love me most. I feel like a million 'cause I'm in love. My heart goes bitter, better. You got me in a spin. I don't know what's the matter, but I'm crazy about the spin I'm in. I feel like a million every time we kiss. I thrill like a million 'cause I can't resist. I feel like a million 'cause I'm in love, I'm in love. Yes, I'm in love.
We'll send that one out to Abigail in our YouTube chat room. I got a number of UK listeners in the YouTube chat today. It's actually early evening for them. I know Eddie Votex is there. Also, we have Abigail, and now we have Mandy. Also, Tony. Tony Crosby's been coming into all my shows there. I want to welcome all of you here to the Vinyltreasure show. This is an afternoon show. You can actually participate live in the program. And we just heard Mamie Bradley there, January 1958. We'll send it out to Abigail in our YouTube chat room. I Feel Like a Million. That one there on Juggy Murray's Sue label out of New York City. Lots of great records on the Sue label. Let's continue here. And this next singer, he's originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, but he was raised in Buffalo, New York. He became a member of the Vibra Harps that recorded for Beach, although I don't think he recorded with that group with their single on the Beach label, but he did go solo in 1957. He signed with Sid Nathan's Deluxe record label. Let's give a listen to his second of 8 for Deluxe. It's a song he co-wrote. We go to July of 1957. Let's give a listen to Donnie Albert. Donnie Albert on Deluxe. It's called Believe It or Not.
Whoa,
That's the sound of Donnie Albert. He has an unmistakable sound he does with that high voice, and recorded solos with groups and without groups. That's his second of 8 for Sid Nathan's Deluxe record label. Believe it or not, came out in July of 1957, and we continue here. And this next singer, originally born in Fort Worth, Texas, but he moved out to Los Angeles in 1948, and he formed the Hollywood Flames in the he was one of the members of the Hollywood Flames back in 1950. His real name is Bobby Bird, or was Bobby Bird, but we know him as Bobby Day. Had a very successful solo career, especially when he signed with Leon Renee's Class record label. And you know his biggest hit was a song called Rockin' Robin. That was the big hit for Mr. Bobby Day. But let's give a listen to the follow-up to Rockin' Robin. This charted nationally, was only number 87 on Cashbox, 54 on Billboard, a number 4 record on XEAK in Tijuana, Baja California. We go to December of 1958. Give a listen to Bobby Day on Class Records. The song is called The Bluebird, The Buzzard, and The Oriole.
Now listen, all you birds, I'm the eagle. When I say hop, let's go. It started one night at a bird band stand. Crickets was a jumping with the swinging band. They made a new dance called the rock and roll. Eliminated all but 3, I'm told. Well, the bluebird, the buzzard, and the oriole. Oh, well, the buzzer hopping, trees was rocking. There was a rockin' and a hoppin' till the leaves came a tumbling down. Well, the eagle came a hopping from tree to tree, said, I'll MC this jamboree. All you little sparrows better sway and sway, gonna rock this tree till the break of day with the bluebird, the buzzard, and the oriole. Oh, well, it was a rocking, trees was a hopping. There was a rockin' and a hoppin' till the leaves came a tumbling down. Well, the blackbird blabbered all the news around. The bugs came a hopping from out of the ground. Well, people joined in and said, bless my soul, find out who started this rock and roll. Well, the bluebird, the buzzard, and the oriole. Oh, well, there was a hopping, trees was a rocking. There was a rocking and a rolling till the leaves came a tumbling down. Well, there was a rocking, trees was a hopping. There was a walking and a strolling till the leaves came a tumbling down.
That's Mr. Bobby Day. That's his follow-up to Rockin' Robin, song entitled The Bluebird, The Buzzard, and The Orioles. Yes, I like to sing about those birds. Yes, they did. That one there, December 1958, on the Class record label, Googie Renee's Class Records. It's fun to find records when you're a record collector, like I was, dating back to high school. It was actually my aunt that got me involved in this type of music, at least 50's music, group records, that I started looking on my own when I was learning how to drive. I was a sophomore in high school. That was 74, 75. And when I got my 1971 Chevy Impala, I used to go Saturday mornings and used to look for records. And it was fun at that time finding records. They were in abundance at the time in the 1970s. I don't think you can find them now. It's very difficult to find them. But if you do find them, they're really, they've been stored stored away for years and probably mostly forgotten, but they still are out there, but very difficult to find. Anyway, this is those of you tuning into the program here. This is we're going to be doing a Monday night show, different types of genres of music, but I had to play these records for the listeners over in the UK. Thank you all for subscribing to the Vinyltreasure Show, and with that help, thank you, Eddie and Indrajet. Thank you for that. And also, there's a bunch of you guys listening in the chat room there, but I hope you're digging on the tunes here. We're doing it a Monday afternoon Vinyltreasure Show. So let's continue here for this next group. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia. It's on Sid Nathan's Deluxe label. This is their second release on Deluxe. It features Eddie Harris on lead. They're called the Blue Dots. The Blue Dots, here we go to June of 1954. On Deluxe, it's called Don't Hold It.
Didn't your mama tell you that romance is good? A young man or a young girl should get all the loving that comes your way. Tomorrow don't count what you do today. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. Give me what I need, please have mercy, please. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. She looked at me, she did. I trembled, I did. I said, don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. Give me what I need, please have mercy, please. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. You better get your loving while you're fine and young. You ain't little baby till you've been stung. Why do you call me your honey bee? You won't sound for my honey, I just can't see. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. Give me what I need, please have mercy, please. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. You better get your loving while you're fine and young. You ain't little baby till you've been stung. Why do you call me your honey bee? You won't sound for my honey, I just can't see. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. Give me what I need, please have mercy, please. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up. Don't hold it, give it up.
As June 1954 release there for the Blue Dots on Deluxe. Don't Hold It is the name of the tune. That features Eddie Harris on lead. Now, Eddie Harris would join the Checkers on King, and now this Blue Dots label of Blue Dots group would have one other release on Ace Records, I think in 1957. I have that 45. Haven't featured it in a while. I should probably pull that one out as we continue. Let's go back to Harlem, New York now. This was... it's actually not a group, but this was their only release on Joe Leibowitz's premium record label. They are Betty Ann Williams and Rosetta Brown. Collectively, they were known as the Copacetics. Great two-sided up-tempo record here. From November of 1956, we go to Premium Records out of Linden, New Jersey. Give a listen to the Copacetics. And I'm going to ask a question. Are you collegian or are you bohemian? Because that's what they want to know. The Copacetics with Collegian.
Collegian or bohemian, it doesn't matter which with you. I believe that's alright with me. I don't want you if you can't be collegiate, or if you can't be bohemian. I believe that's alright with me. If you're down and if you're conservative, collegiate, that's the thing to be. So be smooth and on the groove, baby.
In a hard to be a collegiate, I believe a bohemian. All you have to do is get a little wear and tear. You'll get down, set off be a limit, and get in the rock. Cause they dried up in the coconuts. So get on the scene, you dig what I mean?
It doesn't matter with your whoop. I believe that's alright with me. Collegiate, bohemian. I believe collegiate, bohemian.
November 1956 release for the Copacetics. That name, where would they come up with that name? The Copacetics on the premium label Collegian. That was Joe Leibowitz's label. And I think it was 1957. He suffered a heart attack, and that label just went kaput. They went out of business. Unfortunate their demise. Had no plan B for if something happened. Now, who really knows? Well, a lot of people do have a plan B, but not Joe Leibowitz, unfortunately. I forget who purchased the masters of it. I know that there is a CD out there. Relic put out a CD, The Best of Premium. I don't think they're all on there, though. Not all the releases. There weren't really many releases on Premium Records either, by the way. As we continue here, let's go out to California to Sylvester Cross's Crest label. It's out of Los Angeles, California, and so is this group. They recorded 3 on the label. This is their first, and this is actually a cover song. This is a country tune, a song written, well, it's not a country, they're not singing country, but it was a country song, written and recorded by Merle Travis in 1947 on the Atlas record label. But here they are covering it, this group called the Ebb Tones, their first of 3 on the Crest label. We go to May of 1956. These are the Ebb Tones with their rendition of the tune, That's All.
Hey, watch out, watch what you're doing, look out, know where you're going, all he said, that's all.
Some people go to school to learn how to teach. Some go to school to try to learn how to preach. But if you preach after going to school, be sure you preach and teach the golden rule. That's all. Yes, that's all. You better change your ways before he says that's all. Fella, I know he's a mighty man, trying to save all the money he can. But when that undertaker lets him down, where's he gonna spend that money? Under the ground, and that's all.
That's all.
Hey, that's all.
That's all. That's all.
You better change your ways before he says
That's all.
know some people go around just to signify, trying to get a date with another man's wife. But brother, let me tell you, sure as you're born, don't you know you'd better leave that man's woman alone? Cause one of these days, you just mark my word, you're gonna think that brother's going to work day shift, night shift. You get them mixed up, then here you come sneaking up to knock on the door. That's all, brother, you'll knock no more.
Now my little song is finished.
Yeah.
My song is through.
Yes,
and I didn't necessarily mean the song for you. But if you don't like the way the little song goes, that's a real good sign.
Wow.
Turn it on your toes, and that's all.
That's all.
Hey, brother, that's all.
That's all. That's all.
You better change your way of living before he says that's all.
Hey, man, you don't mean to tell me.
That's all.
There you go. There you go. The sound of the Ebb Tones there, May 1956, on the Crest record label out of Los Angeles, California. Their first of three, song entitled That's All. Now let's stay in California, this time on Imperial Records. And this singer goes by the name of Sonny Anderson. He had two releases on Imperial. This is his first release, his first of two. This tune written by Dorsey and Johnny Burnett. I was checking to see if they actually recorded this, and I did find a recording on YouTube, but I couldn't find like a vinyl. Maybe it was on an LP or maybe it was on a CD, I don't know, but it's from December of 59 and done by this singer by the name of Sonny Anderson, and the song is called Yes, I'm Gonna Love You. Sonny Anderson.
Yes, I'm gonna love you all by myself. You're gonna try to tell me that no one else. The night I met you, I knew I would love you. Now I'm gonna love you all by myself. All by myself. Well, I'm gonna rock you all by myself. Yes, I'm gonna rock you all by myself. I'm not too good on them fancy dance steps, but I'm gonna rock you all by myself. Yes, I'm gonna love you all by myself. Every day of the year, every night of the life, all by myself. Yes, I'm gonna walk you to your front door, and I kiss your lips and I holler just a little bit more. Yes, I'm gonna love you all by myself. You're gonna try to tell me there's no one else. The night I met you, I knew I would love you. Now I'm gonna love you all by myself. Yes, I'm gonna love you all by myself. Every day of the year, every night of the week, all by myself. Yes, I'm gonna walk you to your front door, and I kiss your lips and I holler just a little bit more. Yes, I'm gonna love you. Yes, I'm gonna love you. Yes, I'm gonna love you.
That's from December 1959, the first of two on the Imperial record banner for Sonny Anderson. Sonny Anderson, his tune is called Yes, I'm Gonna Love You. We know that Abigail Rocket Blast, she likes that tune there. We'll send it out to Abigail in our YouTube chat room. Let's continue here, and up next, these gals on the Dice record label, and they got some pretty cool tunes on Dice Records. This is their fourth of five on the Dice label. It's actually a cover song. This song was first recorded by Johnny Louise Richardson and Joe Rivers. You know them as Johnny and Joe. They released it in June of 1958 on Chess. I think there is a Dick Clark Beechnut Saturday Night Show with them doing this song on that Saturday night, whenever it was, back in 1958. But Zell Sanders received credit on the Chess label. It's interesting that on this Dice release, it reads somebody by the name of Lewis, and I don't know who that is, but anyways, from 1959, let's give a listen to the Clickettes. They're all singing on this. Usually Barbara English is the lead of the Clickettes, but they're all singing together on this. 1959 on Dice Records, these are the Clickettes with their cover of the Johnny and Joe tune, Why, Oh, Why. That's the sound of the Clickettes on the Dice label out of the Bronx, New York. 1959 release, Why Oh Why. There is a little bit of a bridge there when Barbara English comes in, but she was the lead singer of the group. And let's continue here. Here's another B-side here for this group from Newport News, Virginia. Started recording on the Aladdin label, but when they were signed to Capitol Records, they became somewhat more polished, I guess, and more on the popish side, I guess, from their early sides on the Aladdin label. They had 4 national releases when they were on Capitol Records, so they did find a financial success while on Capitol Records. Ling Ting Tong, Out of Sight, Out of Mind, Wisdom of a Fool, and Let There Be You. Those were charted records by this group. But let's flip over. Out of Sight, Out of Mind. It's a cool up-tempo side. Features Marilyn Pierce on lead with the Howard Biggs Orchestra. This is from August of 1956. I'm talking about the 5 Keys. The 5 Keys on the Capitol label, and their tune is called That's Right.
Is 2. That's right. That's right. That's right. Kangaroos come from Kalamazoo. That's right. That's wrong. That's wrong. Although it's right that 2 is 2. Who ever heard of a kangaroo walking up Main in Kalamazoo? That's right. That's right. That's right. ring so true to me. I love you and you love me. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Loving you is heavenly. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Now there's one thing that you should know. Yes is yes and no is no. With all my heart I love you so. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Ring so true to me. I love you and you love me. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Loving you is heavenly. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Now there's one thing that you should know. Yes is yes and no is no. With all my heart I love you so. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
B-sides here on the special edition of the Vinyltreasure Show. We're here from 1 to 3. We'll try to, usually it won't go longer than 2 hours there, although I can do whatever I want. Really, I can. But we'll try to, because I got things to do. I do. Got to organize a lot of the records and whatnot and get ready for the next upcoming shows there. But that is a B-side for the 5 Keys. Marilyn Pearson, the 5 Keys. That's the flip side of Out of Sight, Out of Mind. August 1956 release. That's Right is the name of that one on the Capitol label. Let's go to Philadelphia, PA now with this label at least, and I would guess the group too. This is on Jocko Henderson and Barry Golder's Casino label. And don't have any info on this group, but this is a cool two-sided 45, and this is the intended A side. This is the jump side. It's with the Pancho Villa Orchestra. They're called the Chords. The Chords from March of 1958. Now, I guess maybe this is another 50s saying. Is there any... What is the meaning of being a jumping jack? I don't know. Was there a meaning in the 1950s for being called a jumping jack? I don't know, but that's the name of the tune. March 1958, the Chords on Casino. It's called Don't Be a Jumping Jack.
Hey fella, don't call me lover boy. I'm just happy and I'm shouting for joy. Out here trying to have some fun, driving these chicks one by one. Don't be a jumping jack, don't be a tumbling Jill. If you can't have some fun, just move over here. She tell me that you're a square. When you call, you're never there. When you go out to have some fun, you just sit in the corner blowing bubble gum. Don't be a jumping jack, don't be a tumbling Jill. If you can't have some fun, just move over here. Hey little girl, come and take my hand. Let's walk down to the soda stand. When I get there, tell you what I do. Pour a bottle of soda and straws for two. Don't be a jumping jack, don't be a tumbling Jill. If you can't have some fun, just move over here. That you're a square. When you call, you're never there. When you go out to have some fun, you just sit in the corner blowing bubble gum. Don't be a jumping jack, don't be a tumbling Jill. If you can't have some fun, just move over here. Hey little girl, come and take my hand. Let's walk down to the soda stand. When I get there, tell you what I do. Pour a bottle of soda and straws for two. Don't be a jumping jack,
March 1958 release there for the Chords, Chords, the Chords on the Casino label, Don't Be a Jumping Jack. Now, that particular Casino label out of Philadelphia, I think Try the Impossible, I think that's the record that first came out on this label, which I do have in my collection. And we're going to close with a Lee Andrews record. I'm closing the show with a Lee Andrews record. It's actually a B-side. I'm sure many of you will know. But Johnny G here on a Monday afternoon spinning original vinyl 45. Hope you're digging on this cool tune. We're going to do different genres of music on the Monday night show. So probably put a hint in the upcoming promo of it on YouTube. So that's why you need to subscribe to see what the story will be. But let's continue here as we go to Detroit, Michigan for this next group. They're called the Carols, Carols, and they had two earlier releases that came out on Columbia back in 1950, but I think they sounded a lot, or they tried to sound like Jimmy Ricks and the Ravens possibly on those sides. But this is from May of 1953 on Herman Lubinsky's Savoy Records, and they're called the Carols. It features Tommy Evans on lead, and the name of the tune is called I Got a Feeling.
I got a feeling my baby's doing me wrong. Yes, I got a feeling my baby's doing me wrong. Oh, she ain't been the same since I've been back home. Yes, where my picture used to be, there's another face in that frame. Yes, where my picture used to be, there's another face in that frame. Everything seems different, everything's been changed. Yes, tell me, mama, what's been going on? Yes, tell me, mama, what's been going on? That's a lie you telling, I know you've been doing wrong. Well, I grabbed my bag, got back to go, found another man's coat behind that door. Yes, I got a feeling my baby's doing me wrong. Oh, she ain't been the same since I've been back home. Yes, gonna leave that woman, leave her for all my friends. Yes, gonna leave that woman, leave her for all my friends. Cause I can't stand to see this job happen again. She said, Daddy, Daddy, what can I do? Nothing been changing, your love is still true. Yes, I got a feeling my baby's doing me wrong. Oh, she ain't been the same since I've been back home. Yeah, I got a feeling my baby's doing me wrong. Got that same old feeling. I got a feeling my baby's doing me wrong. Oh, she ain't been the same since I've been back home.
May 1953 release there for the Carols. The Carols, the bass lead, Tommy Evans there, trying to probably sound like Jimmy Ricks, I'd say. As I think they try to sound like the Ravens there. Carols on Savoy Records out of Newark, New Jersey. It's called I Got a Feeling. Let's continue here. Actually, this is a request. Not that I was able to take any requests for this show, but I couldn't fit this one in on Saturday night show for listener Paul Greco in Philadelphia. So he asked if I could have squeezed this one in. I said, well, it'd be good for this show on Monday that I'm doing. And this singer is born Benjamin Clarence Jackson in Cleveland, Ohio, back in 1919. He also played the saxophone, violin, and clarinet. Began recording back in 1946 for Sid Nathan's King Records out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And his releases came out as either Moose Jackson or Bull Moose Jackson. Now, Paul requested his 7th release. This originally came out in November of 1952, and I have actually a second press of this. I don't know when the High Fidelity came on, but I thought I had a first press, but no, this is a second press, although it still was pressed in the 50s. And I don't know when King Records went to 45's, but I think they did fairly early, though. Might have been in 52, maybe. But this is going out to Paul Greco, if you're still there in the YouTube chat room. It's with Tiny Bradshaw and his orchestra from November 52. Interesting lyrics on this. Again, it's all in fun. It is. But this is Moose Jackson from November 1952 on Sid Nathan's King record label, going out to Paul Greco. It's called Big 10-Inch Record for Paul.
Got me the strangest woman. Believe me, this chick's no cinch, but I really get her going when I take out my big 10-inch record of the band that plays the blues. The band that plays the blues. She just loves my big 10-inch record of her favorite blues. Last night I tried to tease her, I gave her a little pinch, but she said, now stop that jiving and get out that big 10-inch record of the band that plays the blues. Well, the band that plays the blues. She just loves my big 10-inch record of her favorite blues. I cover her with kisses when we're in a lover's clinch, and when she gets all excited, she begs for my big 10-inch record of the band that plays the blues. Well, the band that plays the blues. She just loves that big 10-inch record of her favorite blues. My gal don't go for smoking, and liquor just makes her flinch. See, she just goes for nothing except my big 10-inch record of the band that plays the blues. Well, the band that plays the blues. She just loves my big 10-inch record of her favorite blues.
There you go. There you go. That's going out to Paul Greco in our YouTube chat room there. That's the sound of Moose Jackson there, November 1957. That's his 7th release. 7th release on Sid Nathan's King record label, Big 10-Inch Record. Johnny G does have a bunch of 10-inch 45's. The 70, not 45's, they're like LPs. Well, they're also like 78s too, because the 45's are 7 inches. The 78s are, I think, 10 inches. Yes, they are. Johnny G losing his mind here on a Monday afternoon. Hope you're digging on the cool tunes. If you're new to the program, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll get notification when Johnny G goes live. You got to be signed into YouTube in order to have that happen, but you can still watch the program. You can go back and watch the archive. It should be posted up right after I shut down here, but the chat usually is not. I didn't even see see, is the chat up, Charlene? I didn't see the chat on Saturday night yet, though, because a lot of people like to view the chat. I know my mother does. My mother is watching downstairs 2 flights down. She is in the kitchen, doing things and watching the show. Let's continue. And I found this 45 in the box yesterday. I remember when Greg Surik sold this record to me. He goes, "Do you have this?" I didn't know anything about it. It's out of California. It's on Robert Sherman and Irving Shorten's Tampa label. Tampa Records was out of Los Angeles, California. So I really didn't have enough time to look into this gal. But the tune is written by the label owner, or one of the label owners, Robert Sherman. And the gal's name is Mary Jones, Mari Jones. Now, she had earlier releases, I think on Modern, with Johnny Moore's Three Blazers, I think. But so this might be a later one for her. I don't know. It's from June of '56. Maybe she was singing back, 6 years earlier in the late 40s. But it's Mary, M-A-R-I, Mary Jones, or Mari Jones, from June '58 on Tampa Records. It's called Reba Dabba Doo. Yeah, boy, you're going to burn off calories dancing to that tune there. That is Mari Jones. Mari Jones, June 1956, on the Tampa record label. Reba Dabba Doo is the name of the tune. I think, there's some great group records on this Tampa label, too. There's some pop, and there's some novelty, and there's actually I have a Nat King Cole on this label, too, by the way. But anyway, let's continue here. Now, here's a group out of Steubenville, Ohio. They used to practice singing at the local pool hall, and one day in late November 1956, they drove 350 miles to New York City to audition for Atlantic Records, but they were rejected. They drove all those miles to go to Atlantic, and they were rejected, but they found out that King Records had a New York office, so they stopped by. They said, what are we going to do now? They rejected us. Let's see if there's another place here we can go. So they met up with Henry Glover, and he was one of King's many A&R men, and he signed them to a 2-year contract, and on November 27th, they recorded 4 songs at Regency Studios at 56 West 56th Street in New York City. And at that time, the group was known as the Hi-Fi's. And and they were originally from Steubenville, Ohio, as I mentioned, but Glover wanted them to change their name, so they went from the Hi-Fi's to the Buckeyes. And because they were, I guess, figuring they were from the Buckeye State, we'll call you the Buckeyes. Now, this was their debut single. Their debut single, and this tune, it features Howard Allsbrooks on lead. This one from January 1957, the Buckeyes on Deluxe. The song is called By Only You, the Buckeyes.
I want to be loved. I want to be loved. But by only you. I want to be loved. But by only you. I want you to kiss me, baby. Kiss me, baby, through and through. I want to be squeezed. I want to be squeezed. But by only you. I want to be squeezed. But by only you. I want you to squeeze me, baby. Squeeze me, baby, through and through.
Well, well, well,
Love me, baby. Love me, baby.
love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby.
Love me, baby. I want to be loved.
I want to be
But
loved.
by only you. I want to be loved. But by only you. I want you to thrill me, baby. Thrill me, baby, through and I want to be loved.
I want to be loved.
But by only you. I want to be loved. But by only you. I want you to thrill me, baby. Thrill me, baby, through and through. Want to be loved. But by only you. I want to be loved. But by only you. I want you to thrill me, baby. Thrill me, baby, through and through.
That's the first of two for the Buckeyes on Deluxe Records, song entitled By Only You. That features Howard Allsbrooks on lead, January 1957. Of course, they would record later as the Stereos on many different labels. Of course, they had a big hit in 1961 on Cub Records. I Really Love You was the cool up-tempo tune that they do. That was a 45 that my aunt purchased back in 1961. Of course, I feature usually their ballads, Dottie Baby, their second release that I have featured on the Saturday night program. Let's continue here on Vinyl Treasures. We go to Harlem, New York for this next group, and you know this group. They are a classic New York City sound that they've had, and this group's biggest hit was a song called Speedo, and then they followed it up with this tune. It features Earl Carroll on lead. This is on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. This was a big record in Pittsburgh, number 3 on WHOD in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We go to March of 1956. This is the follow-up to Speedo by the Cadillacs on Josie Records. It's called Zoom.
Well, Zoom, when the strings of my heart, yes, I know you'd start a little flame in my heart. Well, Zoom, when the strings of my heart,
in my heart. Do you remember the time we met? Your love was mine. Do you remember the night we met? Well, soon when the strings of my heart, yes, I know you start a little flame in my heart.
Love you, baby. Oh, yes, I do. And you just my deep breath. Oh, me, baby. And squeeze me tight. Never let me go.
Oh, Zoom, when the strings of my heart, yes, I know you start a little flame in my heart.
Sounds of New York City here on the afternoon special of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Cadillacs. The Cadillacs, Earl Carroll and the Cadillacs, March 1958, the follow-up to Speedo. Song entitled Zoom on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. My aunt really liked that record, too. I remember when she never used to take care of her 45's, and she was not the normal teenager, because the normal teenager has like maybe 50 records in their collection, or at most 100 records in their collection. My aunt had like 945's in her collection. And remember, she was born 1945, November of 1945. So she listened to all the DJs back in the day. And I remember her first record that she bought, she had Earth Angel on a 78. She said she had two 78s, Earth Angel and one other record. It wasn't G, it was something else. But then everything else after that was on a 45. And of course, she didn't keep good care of her record. She wrote her name on the record. She wrote, it was, and remember, at the area code at the time back then, it was, at least here where I live, was ME1. It was Medford 1. And they would write it was ME1. I think it was ME1533 something. But she also wrote her boyfriend's name on the record. So if you have her story untold, which I treasure those records of my aunt, she has, you know, she puts the address, she puts all these guys' names that she liked, and she used to take her records to these record hops, and the girls used to get to fighting because the records got all mixed up. But she was not the normal teenager. She ended up, she scoped out the guy in town that would fill up the jukeboxes, and he would sell those records. Some were mint, some were played. So she would bring them to me, and she says, "Johnny, I brought you some records. Let's listen to them." There were 25 records in a box for $2, and she would say, "I don't like it. If you like it, you can take it." So she goes, "Yes, I want that one." So I would be at this little Victrola, and I would play these records for her, and she didn't want them sleeved. I said, "Mary, maybe we should put them in the sleeve." She goes, "No, I don't want to be bothered with the sleeve." I think it was a mistake, but what did I know back then as a kid? But she liked that record there anyway. Hopefully you're digging on the cool tunes this afternoon, a special edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show on a Monday at 1 o'clock. We continue here. Let's go to Chicago now with this next group. First recording for Art Sheridan's Chance label back in 1953. They had 6 releases on the Chance label. This was their first. This was their debut single. They recorded their session January 28th, 1953, and Chance released it in March of 53. It features Solly McElroy on lead. We go to March of 1953. Give a listen to the Flamingos. The Flamingos on Chance Records. The song is called Someday, Some Way.
Someday, some way, oh baby, you realize that you can't go around breaking hearts and telling lies. Oh, someday, some way, oh baby, you find it so good that you can't go around hurting one who's loving you. Well, you treat me like booty, oh, how mean can you be? But someone is going to treat you just like you treat for me. Oh, someday, some way, oh, baby, you see the lie that you had a good man, but you just couldn't treat him right. Love. Like a fool there, oh, how mean can you be? Well, somebody's going to treat you, oh, just like you treat for me. Oh, someday, some way, oh, see the light that you had a good man, but you just wouldn't treat him right. Oh, yeah, good man, just wouldn't treat him right.
That's the great sound of the Flamingos there. That is their debut single on the Chance record label, March 1953, Someday, Some Way, Solly McElroy on lead. And that is on, Gordy Freeman mentions a rare 45 on red vinyl, which was a little better condition. But listen, beggars can't be choosy. When Greg offered me that record so many years ago, probably his first copy of it, and he said, yeah, I do need that record, so I'll take it. But anyway, the great sound of the Flamingos. Let's continue here. Here's a girl group sound on George Goldner's Rama record label. Now, the lead singer on this, her name is Vicki Burgess. She was the female lead of the Charmers that recorded on Central Records. There's a couple records they have, very rare, but she was first the lead singer of the Charmers. But then her together with Margaret Moore and Barbara Brown formed this group, the Joy Tones. They had 3 releases on the Rama record label. This is their second. And again, with Vicki Burgess on lead. And we're going to send this one out to Indrajit Advani in our YouTube chat room, as I have to thank Eddie and Indrajit for letting me know the cool sounds that the UK listeners really enjoy. And I think you had this on your list, Indrajit, August 1956. These are the Joy Tones on George Goldner's Rama record label, their second release. It's called Gee, What a Boy.
He said that he will marry me.
That's the second of three for the Joy Tones on George Gallner's Rama record label. The unmistakable saxophone sound there of Jimmy Wright and the orchestra there with that honking saxophone. August 1956, Vicky Burgess on lead, Gee What a Boy, the name of the tune. Of course, their hardest record to find is a song called My Foolish Heart. That's their third release, which I have. Wish I had it in a little better shape, but beggars can't be choosy. I say that. As we continue here for this next singer, originally from Atlanta, Georgia, but he moved to New York City. Not only was he a singer, he was also a songwriter, and together he wrote tunes together with Otis Blackwell. One of the songs that was a hit for him and Otis Blackwell was Fever, as done by Little Willie John, and his debut single, which he also co-wrote, was Priscilla, but he would have three releases on the Royal Roost record label. I think it was Jack Cook's Royal Roost label. Jack Cook, he was, I think, Alan Freed's business partner or lawyer or something that those two had together in the business. But let's give a listen to his third release on Royal Roost Records. Actually, this song written by David Clowney, a.k.a. Dave Baby Cortez. This one from April 1957. This is Eddie Cooley and the Dimples on Royal Roost Records out of New York City. It's called Hey You.
Hey, you sure look good to me. Whenever you walk the street, my heart just skips a beat. Hey, you, can't you hear my heart go pow? Whenever you give me a smile, come talk with me a while. Well, every time I see you, you pass me by with a quick hello and a sad goodbye. Please pardon me for being so bold, but I go for you with all my heart and soul. Hey, you, please be my dumpling too. Baby, I swear it's true, I'm really in love with you. Sure look good to me. Whenever you walk the street, my heart just skips a beat. Hey, you, can't you hear my heart go pow? Whenever you give me a smile, come talk with me a while. Goodbye. Please pardon me for being so bold, but I go for you with all my heart and soul. Hey, you, please be my dumpling too. Baby, I swear it's true, I'm really in love with you. I'm in love with you, with a love that's true. I'm in love with you, baby, I swear it's true. I'm in love with you. True, I love you, baby. My love is true.
April 1957, Eddie Cooley and the Dimples there on Royal Roost Records out of New York City. Hey You is the name of the tune, and Abigail mentions that she loves the song Harry and Carrie. I think actually, Abigail, you requested that. So I'm looking around for this record. I'm going, is this on a 45? It never came out on a 45. So some of the records that they do play, remember, they're not playing original vinyl. They're playing MP3s or CDs is what they're playing. So there's a wide gamut there. They have to do it fast. It's much easier, I'm sure, if you're in a club to play the CDs or the MP3s. Just listen, you just drag it to the player and it plays. But I don't know how you line up CDs, because I know a lot of the DJs in the clubs, they would kind of, with the mixing of the turntables on vinyl, but I don't know how you do it with CDs or MP3s. I don't know how that goes, but there must be a mixer for CDs. There has to be. But anyway, so some of those that you may request of Johnny G, it never came out on a 45. I mean, if it's out on an LP, that I can look for. And I do have a ton of LPs, been buying some LPs lately. Some guys have been telling me, come on, Johnny, can you come over Sunday afternoon? I got some LPs, and they're fairly cheap. So at least they're selling them to me cheaply. Anyway, enough of my babbling here. Let's continue here for this gal. She is being backed up by an unnamed vocal group on this label. This is Bill Lassley's Amp 3 label. This is the same label that the Danleers recorded One Summer Night, first came out on this Amp 3 record label. And actually, the Danleers shared the recording session that she recorded this at. So possibly these are the Danleers backing her up. If you were a gambling man, I would gamble on it that it is true. But either way, her name is Pearl Galloway, and this is the intended A-side of this, her tune here, written by Joseph Baldino. This is from April 1958. Let's give a listen to Pearl Galloway on Amp 3 Records. The song is called Think It Over, Baby.
Think it over, baby, before you say goodbye. Darling, you know I love you so. Why you wanna make me cry? Now don't do nothing, baby, that you may regret. The good book always tell you, forgive and forget. Count up to 10, and you will see that I'm in love with you, and you should be loving me. Well, think it over, baby. You find out that I'm right. Come into my loving arms and hug and squeeze me tight. Count up to 10, and you will see that I'm in love with you, and you should be loving me. Well, think it over, baby. You find out that I'm right. Come into my loving arms and hug and squeeze me tight. Come into my loving arms and hug and squeeze me tight. Come into my loving arms and hug and squeeze me tight.
I think those are the Danleers backing her up. I would gamble on that. Pearl Galloway, April 1958 on Amp 3 Records. Think It Over, Baby is the name of that tune. Johnny G here on a special day, Monday. We're here from 1 to 3 p.m. right here. The Spinning 45's on the Vinyltreasure Show. We are welcoming in a lot of the UK listeners here to the program. Hope you're digging on the tunes here as we go back to Los Angeles, California, to the Bahari Brothers Flair label for this group named after the label. Just a couple days ago, I featured their debut single, Saturday Night, on Saturday night's show. It was called I Had a Love, released in July of 1953. This is their 7th release. This is the follow-up to Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me. I know you UK listeners like that tune by the group. It features Cornell Gunter on lead. We go to March of 1955. Give a listen to the Flairs on the Flair label. It's called She Loves to Dance. The Flairs.
the dance. Little Lord, she loves romance. Little lady, she loves to dance. To dance around the clock and then some more. Well, she loves to kiss. Little lady, she never miss. Little Lord, she loves romance. To dance around the clock and then some more. Well, she's going where band's going, rhythm's flowing, every mop, don't stop. She loves to sway, little life, she goes my way, and that's the reason why she loves to dance, to dance around the clock and then some more. Rock, 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 she loves to dance. Well, she loves romance. Yeah, she loves to dance. To dance around the clock and then some more. Well, she loves to kiss. Little less she never miss. Little love, she loves romance. To dance around the clock and then some more. Well, she keeps going where band's going, rhythm's flowing, every mop, don't stop. She loves to sway, little life, she goes my way, and that's the reason why she loves to dance, to dance around the clock and then some more. Rock, 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 doo-doo, rock, 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 doo-doo, rock, 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 yeah, doo-doo, rock, 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 doo-doo, rock, 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 doo-doo, rock, 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 and then some more. Rock, 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 rock.
March 1955 there for the Flairs, Cornell Gunther and the Flairs, their 7th release on Flair, She Loves to Dance. It sounded like She Loves to Rock, but it's She Loves to Dance. Anyway, Johnny G used to love to dance. It's definitely a good way to lose weight. It is. It really, really is. Let's continue here. Hope you're liking what I'm doing here on a Monday evening. If you do, please be sure to click thumbs up. It's always important for that. If you missed any of the show, it'll be up on the YouTube archive. And also you can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net, and you can stream or download the show there. If you like what I'm doing, you have any suggestions, please send them to me at vinyltreasures@AOL.com. That's for all requests and also for suggestions for the Monday night show, or I should say Monday afternoon show. I'm so used to saying Monday night. But anyway, got to say hi to my mom. I know she's still looking. I'll be coming down for lunch at 3 o'clock, Mom, so keep that warm as we continue here. And I added this 45 at the last minute out of Chicago on the Profile record label. There's Little June in the Januaries is on this label, Profile Records. That's a group record, but this group had 3 releases on Profile. This is their first. Their later 2, they came out as the Night Raiders, but on their first, I think the Night Raiders with Mickey Hawks, I think, is on lead. But this one, their first one, it reads Mickey Hawks with Moon Mullins and his Night Riders. This one came out in October of 1958. You see, I was collecting labels for the majority of my collecting career, still collecting, by the way. And Mike Demersion had a whole bunch of these labels here, and that's where I bought this from. I think he charged me $20 for this record. Mickey Hawks with Moon Mullins and the Night Raiders from October 58 on Profile. It's called Rock and Roll Rhythm.
I got a rhythm in my shoes, I got a rhythm in my soul. But when I get to feeling, I know with rock and roll, I got the rock and roll rhythm. Rock and roll rhythm. Rock and roll rhythm, that rock and roll rhythm going round. Well, old Aunt Sue was feeling kind of blue, but when she heard that rock and roll boy, I'm telling you, she got the rock and roll rhythm.
you go there. That is Mickey Hawks with Moon Mullins and his Night Rockers. Their October 1958 release, the first of three on the Profile record label. Rock and Roll Rhythm is the name of the tune. Hopefully Johnny G keeping you in the rhythm here for a Monday afternoon. And let's continue here. And up next, a great rockin' New York City hit for this group out of Harlem, New York. You may know their second release that I often feature on the Saturday night show on George Goldner's Rama record label. And that really, their second record, it's called I Love You, Darling. That was really the reason of Johnny G going into collecting records, because I used to love to watch the Rama logo spin on my aunt's 1955 RCA console. It was a 55 console with a TV on the left, and it had a drawer on the right that you would pull out, and it had like this velvet turntable, but again, you had to get those metal inserts, those plastic metal, metal inserts, not plastic. They were metal, and one would flip down and the other one would flip up. They are a pain, but you get it to put into the center hole to stack the records. Don't ask me about those things, because my aunt, or I broke so many of the records my Aunt Mary's. But that was the record. This group's second release was the reason why I went into collecting this music, and that record, I Love You, Darling, will always stay in my heart. Really, I think of my Aunt Mary all the time when I play that record. But this is their fourth of 7 on the Rama label, with the great Jimmy Wright and his orchestra. He just goes wild on this song here. The great sax break. It features Richard Barrett on lead. This charted number 7 on WILY and also WHOD in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We go to April of 1956 for Richard Barrett and the Valentines on the Rama label. Their tune is called The Woo Woo Train.
All aboard!
Bye bye, baby.
Boom, 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 boom. Ah, boom, boom, boom. Ah, boom, boom. Ah, boom. Bye, bye, baby. Move on down the
Well, there goes the train, moving down the line, taking my baby away. Feel so bad I can cry. Oh no, there goes the train, moving down the line, taking my sweetheart away. No, she's gonna stay. Oh no. Baby away, feel so bad I could cry. Oh no. Bye bye, baby, move on down the line.
Those are the Valentines. Yeah, they're fourth of seven on George Golner's Rama record label. April 1956 release. The Woo Woo Train is the name of the tune, a New York City hit. Yes, it was. Let's go out to Los Angeles, California, to Dootsy Williams' Dutone record label with this B-side. Now, some of you may be familiar with this group's biggest hit. It was called The Letter, and their follow-up to that song was another song relating to the Postal Service, we could say. It was called The Telegram. Now, both songs written by the lead singer, Vernon Green. Now, the interesting thing is that the flip sides of both of those 45s related to cars. Now, the flip side of The Letter was a song called Buick 59. But let's give a listen to the flip side of The Telegram. It was their second release on a Dootsy Williams Dutone record label. It features Vernon Green on lead. This is December 1954. These are the Medallions on Dutone. It's called Coupe DeVille Baby.
Got a Coupe DeVille, baby, and boy, you know how I feel. Got a Coupe DeVille, baby, and boy, you know how I feel. She's a slim, trim mama with a body shaped like a nail. She got skin like satin and a body shaped like a tower. She got skin like satin and a body shaped like a tower. There's one thing I'm sad for, she really has power. Dig that crazy horn! No, no, no! Well, she's fine, 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 boy, that girl is fine. Well, she's fine, 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 boy, that girl is fine. She's a cookie baby, boy, you bet she's mine. She's built for comfort, full of class, give you thrill just to see her pass. Got a cookie baby, boy, she sure is fine. I'm glad that you got a mind.
As Vernon Green and the Medallions there, that's the B-side to The Telegram, their second release on the Dutone label, Coupe DeVille Baby, December 1954 release. And for you collectors out there, the true first presses of this come out. The first label is the shiny red label, and I featured the very next press, which was like the dark maroon label. I think the next press, it was the third press, was on the blue label, and there's even a fourth press. This came out on the black and silver Dutone record label. They were running out of labels, so they went to other color labels that they had in storage there. That's what happened with, that's the same thing happened with Earth Angel too, by the way. Anyway, Johnny G babbling on here. This was our debut program for 1 o'clock here. Different types of genres of music will be happening at from 1 to 3 p.m. a.m. Need my head examined on Mondays. Anyway, if I can get it together, because, you know, the time, you know, my my biggest span of time is after the Wednesday night show till Saturday. But then I don't have much time to get to the Monday night show, but anyway, or the Monday afternoon show after Saturday. But let's go back to Harlem, New York, to Danny Robinson's Holiday record label for this great group. I love this group. They're called the Bop Chords. They have... this is their third and final release on the Holiday label, and I love all sides, both sides of their 3 releases on the Holiday label. But this is their hardest record to get, especially if you can find it clean. It features Ernest Harrison on lead. We go to late 1957 for the sound of the Bop Chords on Holiday Records. The tune is called So Why.
Boom, boom, boom.
So why do you make me cry? You know the reason why I'm still in love with you. So please don't break my heart in two. I belong to you. I really love you so.
Those are the Bop Chords. The Bop Chords on the Holiday label, late 1957. So Why is the name of the tune. Ernest Harrison on lead, of course, When I Woke Up This Morning, and Castle in the Sky. What great New York City records they are. They're prior to this release, and great sounds by the Bop Chords. Let's continue here for this next singer. She was born Dolores Evans in Chicago, Illinois, and early in her career she was billed as Little Miss Sharecropper and first recorded under that name back in 1949. In 1953 she signed with Atlantic Records, and she found success on Atlantic. She had 4 top 20 Billboard pop hits and 18 top 20 R&B hits. Now, her 2 biggest hits were Jim Dandy in 1956, and in 1958, her next biggest hit was a song called I Cried a Tear. Now, she had 33 releases for Atlantic during her career, and this is her follow-up to Jim Dandy. We go to April of 1957 for Miss Laverne Baker. Laverne Baker on Atlantic Records. It's called Jim Dandy Got Married.
Jim Dandy done fell in love. Jim Dandy done fell in love. Jim Dandy done fell in love. Love Jim Dandy, love Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy rescued me. Fell in love with her the very same day. Got engaged that afternoon. Left that night Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy gave me a kiss. For the line with his two bare fists. Swam the ocean in a suit of steel. With a sign saying my love is real. Jim Dandy got married. Love Jim Dandy. Love Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy got married. Jim Dandy got married. Jim Dandy got married. Love Jim Dandy. Love Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy was a nickname Dan. Luckiest cat in the whole of the land. Love me so well it seems. In a month she was plumb insane. Jim Dandy got her married. Love Jim Dandy. Love Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy was summoned to court. May was suing for non-support. Judge Johanna, it will make you sob. Loving me is a full-time job. Jim Dandy got her married. Love Jim Dandy. Love Jim Dandy. Love, love, love Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy got married, y'all. He's real gone this time. Y'all hear? Suffer Jim Dandy. He's gone, y'all. I know he won't be back now.
There you go. We're going to send that one out to Mandy Williams and Abigail Rocket Blast. Also, Eddie Votex in the YouTube chat room. There are UK listeners tuned in live to the Vinyltreasure program, The Sound of Laverne Baker. April 1957, that's a follow-up to Jim Dandy on the Atlantic label. It's called Jim Dandy Got Married. Yes, he did. As we continue here, let's go to Brooklyn, New York now. This is the second of four for this group out of Brooklyn, New York. Now, my aunt bought this 45 in the summer of 1958. It was their follow-up to One Summer Night. The song was called I Really Love You. I love that record. I do. It's a great ballad. But she also played the flip side of the 45. And the tune features Jimmy Weston on lead. We go back to August of 1958. You flip over I Really Love You, which I'll be playing probably Saturday night, and you get this cool up-tempo tune. These are the Danleers, Jimmy Weston and the Danleers. They're second of four on the Mercury label. It's called My Flaming Heart.
Another night, and we're on. Where is your tender kiss that fills my flaming heart? No other arms bring so much bliss, and in this flaming heart of mine, it's you I miss. When you're away, you're on my mind. Someone else like you, I know I'll never, never find.
B-sides here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Those are the Danleers, Jimmy Weston and the Danleers, August 1958 on Mercury Records. Their second of four, My Flaming Heart, the flip side of I Really Love You. Going to get a few more in here before we tune off here. And up next, this singer from Columbus, Ohio, started recording back in 1949, recorded for many different labels during his career. Actually, his career extended into the later 1960s, but prior to that, prior to his releases, I know he recorded on other labels before OK, but I know in the 1950s he had releases on OK and Savoy, and he did 3 on Sid Nathan's Deluxe label. This is his third release. His name is Larry Darnell. Larry Darnell, this is from July 57 on Deluxe Records. It's called It Must Be Love.
Just tell me when, little turtle dove. Just tell me when you want my love. Just give me a clue, I'll know what to do. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Just tell me when you will be mine. Just tell me when life will be fine. Let me hold you close, cause I need you the most. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I yearn for your lips and your pleasing charms, the feel of your hair and your loving arms. Squeeze me tight with all your might. May the memories linger in my dreams tonight. Tell me when will you say the word? Just tell me when, and I'll fly like a bird, straight to your side to be your love and pride. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I yearn for your lips and your pleasing charms, the feel of your hair and your loving arms. Squeeze me tight with all your might. May the memories linger in my dreams tonight. Tell me what will you say the word? Just tell me when, and I'll fly like a bird, straight to your side to be your love and pride. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Just tell me when. Just tell me when. Just tell me when.
July 1957 release. That's the third release, though, on Deluxe Records for Mr. Larry Darnell. It Must Be Love is the name of the tune. 2 more 45s to go here before we got to shut down here on the Monday night show here. And this is actually another B-side for this group. This is on Bobby Robinson's Whirling Disc record label, Whirling Disc number 100. This was the first release on the label, this great group out of Harlem, New York, talking about the Channels, Earl Lewis and the Channels. Their first record was their biggest hit, a song called The Closer You Are. It was another 45 that my aunt purchased back in the summer of 1956. But let's flip the 45 over. It's a great two-sided 45, and she used to play this side too. I still have her original copy. It is at best in G condition, but she had it on the block print, not with Bob Dan music though, with spinning wheel music, that being the publisher. So this is actually, I think, the second, well, like a couple months later press, but I don't care. It sounds good no matter what press it's on. So this is from August 1956. This is the B-side to The Closer You Are. Earl Lewis and the Channels on Whirling Disc Records. It's called Now You Know, parentheses, I Love You So.
never, never let you go. No, now you know I'll always love you. I'll never play. No one above you. I need you so. I'll never let you go.
That's a great sound of Earl Lewis and the Channels. That's the B-side to their debut single, came out in August of 1956. Bobby Robinson's Whirling Disc record label, the flip side of The Closer You Are, song entitled Now You Know, parentheses, I Love You. So that's going to do it for Johnny G in this special edition of the 1 p.m. Monday afternoon Vinyl Treasure Show. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. We'll try to do this. Maybe we'll try to see we can figure out a kind of a timetable of when I can play this type of show. Maybe we can do it every few weeks. We can do it. We're going to feature lots of genres out of my collection. Don't know what I'm going to do yet next, but I got to think about it a little bit. I got to think about it pretty quick. But I hope you enjoyed the tunes that you heard tonight. I really want to welcome in all those tuned in over in the UK and other countries. They can tune in live to the program. Usually I'm on way too late, although Tony Crosby over in the UK and East End Mark, they are diehards. They are up listening for the majority, if not the whole show. But of course, we need our sleep, and I'm glad that at least the show is available on the archive, unless the copyright police, catch me and nab me, for they've been very difficult to deal with lately for some reason. But anyway, see, I got a copyright audio thing on my stream now. For what? That B-side? Come on, are you kidding? But again, thank you all for tuning in to the show this afternoon, and I'll be back. We'll try it next Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time here in the U.S. and wherever it is at your time where you are. Of course, I'll be on Saturday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 to midnight, for the 50s and early 60s vocal group harmony show. Lots of requests to fill in on that show. And then again, well, actually that's Saturday. I'll be here in a couple days for the Soul Show at 9 p.m. on Oldies and More Radio, and also right here on YouTube. Well, anyway, that's it, folks. We're going to close the show with another B-side here as we go to Philadelphia, PA, as I cannot see this here. Of course, we're talking about Lee Andrews and the Hearts. You know what? Lee Andrews and the Hearts' signature song, that being Long Lonely Nights. That's their signature song. At least I think it should be. But maybe many of you own that record on the Chess label, but it first came out on the Mainline label, a green Mainline label, which I do have, but it's not in the greatest shape. So I just picked one here. This is a styrene Chess copy, which of course, styrene is not my favorite. But the first presses of this are on Mainline, and of course Chess distributed this record nationally throughout the United States. But it's with Pancho Villa and his orchestra, and our closer tonight is from June of 1957, the flip side of Long Lonely Nights for Lee Andrews and the Hearts. It's called The Clock. As the clock says 3:06, it's time for Johnny G to get out of here. I'll see you next time right here on Vinyl Treasures on YouTube or Oldies and More Radio. So everybody have a great remainder of your evening or your day, and I'll see some of you again on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. right here on YouTube or Oldies and More Radio. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
Tick-tick-tock, tick-tick-tock. Will somebody make it stop? Well, tick-tick-tock. That no good noisy cloud. Well, I long to hear my baby, but all I ever hear is tick-tick-tock, ticking out the clock. Ring, ring, ring. There goes that long
again. Well, ring, 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 ring. That thing driving me insane. Well, I long to have a baby, but all I ever hear is tick, tick, tock, ticking as a clock. It's somebody call my name. It's somebody playing a game. Do you want it on the phone? Well, if it's not my baby, then I'm not at home. I just sit here and listen to the ticking of the clock.